Alright, close your eyes for just a second. Imagine a towering mountain of fragrant saffron gold rice, beautifully flecked with vibrant green dill and bright fava beans. Now picture that right next to a fall-off-the-bone lamb shank that is so incredibly tender it yields at the slightest touch. Welcome to this explainer. Today we're breaking down Chef ZiZi's iconic recipe for Baghali Polo with Mahiche, which is without a doubt one of Iran's absolute crown jewels. We're not just going to explore how to cook it, we're diving into exactly why this stunning dish is the ultimate symbol of love and generosity in Persian culture. Let's get into it. So let's dive into this absolute sensory masterpiece. You know, when this dish finally hits the table, conversations literally stop. Everyone just kind of stares in admiration. It's this stunning balancing act between two very distinct stars, the bright, herbaceous, perfectly fluffy rice, and the rich, deeply spiced, slow-braised meat. Section 1. The Art of Persian Hospitality. More than just a meal. To really understand this dish, we have to look at what it represents. Originating from northern Iran, where rice and fava beans grow in absolute abundance, this is definitely not your ordinary, rushed weeknight dinner. No way! This is an occasion. It's the dish that's proudly served at huge wedding banquets, during the Persian New Year, Nowruz, and really at life's most meaningful gatherings. It's basically the ultimate way for a host to express their utmost respect and generosity toward their guests. Moving on to Section 2, preparing the saffron lamb, the magic of time and patience. Just think about the sheer depth of flavor we're building here. First, you're browning the lamb shanks, and hey, don't rush that step, because color equals flavor, right? Then you saute roughly chopped onions until they're richly caramelized, and introduce these unbelievably warm Persian aromatics. The cinnamon, nutmeg, coriander, and cumin create this incredible foundation. You can even toss in a pinch of dried rose petals for a wonderful floral aroma. And of course, the saffron threads. You steep those in hot water, and they'll be added right near the very end to beautifully glaze the meat. 3 hours. That's the exact amount of time you need to block out for the gentle braising of this lamb. After bringing your lamb stock, or just water, to a boil, you immediately drop the heat to its absolute lowest setting. Cover it tightly, and wait. You'll just want to turn the shanks every 45 minutes or so. Chef ZiZi makes a really crucial point here. Never, ever rush this. High heat, it's literally the enemy of a tender lamb shank. Gentle braising is exactly what allows the meat to eventually pull away from the bone totally effortlessly, while that cooking liquid reduces down into a thick, glossy, ultra-rich sauce. Patience is absolutely your best ingredient here. Section 3. The Secrets of Persian Rice. A foundation of light, fluffy aromatics. Now this is where the real magic happens. If you take away just one single technique from this entire explainer, let it be this one. Chef ZiZi calls skipping the soak the #1 mistake in Persian cooking. You absolutely must wash your extra long-grain basmati rice 4 to 5 times until the water runs crystal clear to get rid of that excess starch. Then, you let it soak in cold, salted water for at least 2 hours. This is the secret, the key to getting grains that cook perfectly evenly. Next up, we prep the fava beans. These give the dish that gorgeous pop of color and texture. Whether you're using fresh beans right from the pod or frozen ones from the market, you've got to treat them right. Notice the difference here. Fresh beans need a quick 2-minute blanch and a peel, while frozen ones need a really fast 1-minute boil followed immediately by an ice bath. This completely locks in that vibrant, bright green color so they don't turn all mushy and gray in the pot. Which actually brings us to the famous 2-stage Persian rice method. Unlike standard boiling or steaming that most of us are used to, Persian cuisine does both. First, you parboil that soaked rice in heavily salted water for about 6 to 8 minutes. You're looking for an al dente texture, so soft on the outside but still firm right in the center. Then you drain it, rinse it to completely stop the cooking process, and move to the steaming phase. It is a completely unique approach that guarantees long, separate, incredibly fluffy grains. Section 4. The Golden Crispy Crust. Chasing the perfect Tahdig. Oh man, Tahdig. It's that glorious sizzling crust at the bottom of the rice pot, and trust me, literally everyone fights over it at the dinner table. Before you steam your rice, you coat the bottom of the pot with oil and lay down your base. You've got a few options here. Lavash flatbread is wonderful, plain saffron rice is super traditional, but those thin potato slices? That is a fantastic, totally beginner-friendly option that yields a perfectly golden, crispy disc of potato. Once your crust base is set, it's time to build your masterpiece. You're gonna alternate layers of that al dente rice, the bright fava beans, and a very generous amount of finely chopped fresh dill. You actually shape this into a mountain shape right in the center of the pot. Then, using the handle of a wooden spoon, you poke 5 or 6 holes straight down to the bottom. This is a brilliant little engineering trick that allows the steam to circulate all the way through the mountain. Toss a towel over the lid to catch any condensation, and let it steam on the absolute lowest heat for 35 to 45 minutes. So, fast forward 45 minutes and your kitchen is going to smell unbelievable. This amazing mix of earthy dill and aromatic saffron. You'll actually hear the gentle sizzle of the crust at the bottom. To help release it, you can pop the hot pot onto a cold, damp towel for a couple of minutes. Then, you place a large serving platter over the pot, take a deep breath, and invert it. I absolutely love this advice from Chef ZiZi. Hesitation leads to disaster. One decisive movement is all it takes. It's high stakes for sure, but when you lift that pot up and see the golden tahdig perfectly intact, wow, it is an unmatched culinary thrill. Section 5. Serving a feast of love. The grand reveal. Okay, let's see how all these beautiful elements actually come together. You've got this incredible visual contrast happening on the table. You have this massive mountain of rice, speckled with green dill, and you take a little extra rice, mix it with saffron water, and crown the top so it's bright gold. Beside it, you place those magnificent, tender lamb shanks, generously spooning that glossy braising sauce right over the meat. And the tahdig, you can serve it whole on the side or break it into these amazing golden shards scattered right around the platter. It is literally a work of art. Of course, no Persian feast is complete without its supporting cast. These side dishes are absolutely crucial for cutting through the richness of the lamb and the butter in the rice. You want a platter of fresh mint, basil and radishes, some cooling cucumber yogurt, acidic pickled vegetables, and a bright, citrusy shiraji salad. Together, they bring absolute, perfect harmony to the table. As we wrap up this explainer, I really want to leave you with a thought from Chef ZiZi. When you place a labor of love like Baghali Polo with Mahiche on the table, you're looking at your guests and telling them, you are worth the time, you are worth the patience, and the love that went into preparing this. That right there is the true spirit of Persian hospitality. So the only question left for you is, who will you share that love with? Thanks so much for joining me, and I really hope this inspires you to bring a little Persian magic into your own kitchen.